So after the first restaurant took off, people expected you to do similar things, and you didn't.
No. At the time, it was Joaquin Baca, myself, and who has his restaurant now in Brooklyn. It's called the Brooklyn Star, and we didn't know what we were doing. We had no game plan. We had no mission statement.
You mean after the first debacle that turned out
Yes.
to success, you thought, well, if we did so well not knowing anything, let's do that again?
No, we thought that there's no way we could repeat the same mistakes. And I decided to do this weird Korean-Mexican fusion type burrito bar.
Hadn't you worked at Chipotle at one point?
No, but I was a big fan of Steve Ells, and he had become a mentor and is still a friend, and I just thought that this might work. And I don't know I still to this day don't know what made me do it, or why nobody around me didn't strangle me to death and say, this is the worst idea I've ever heard.
And it worked.
It did not work. And out of those ashes of failure became Ssäm Bar, and that sort of became the trademark of Momofuku. We would make just the biggest mistake possible and work our way out of that.
Did that happen with Co and Milk Bar as well?
No, not Co. We was the first time we sort of had the plan and sort of stuck to the plan, and it worked.
Now, you don't allow anyone to skip the line for a reservation at Co, even critics.
Nope.
Why do you insist that all reservations be made only online?
Well, it's 12 seats, and I've answered phones before, and we don't need a reservationist for 12 seats, and that's 24 people a day.
Now, why even do 12-seat restaurant? Because it's the only way you can make that kind of food?
Well, again, everything for Momofuku, and in terms of how we've grown, it's not because we've wanted to grow, it's because it's been forced upon us. Noodle Bar was literally falling apart. Anytime someone would flush a toilet, our office was underneath. It was this little broom closet, and all our computers would become fried. So we had to move it. We were out of gas, electricity, and then we realized the only way we could continue to lease this space was to have a small restaurant, and that restaurant happened to only hold 12 seats. So that's it.
I should warn listeners with delicate feelings that you do use, well, first of all, you do try to duplicate your voice. The word like is in here more than we might expect in a book of the sort. Editors usually take that stuff out. But you also use words that the FCC doesn't allow us to use
not so
on
much.
the air. Is that because you want the readers to get a sense of what it's like to work in a kitchen?
And work in the kitchen, and Peter Meehan, I think, did a wonderful job of capturing my voice and how I interact and with the people around me. And it's just like I would say in any other business, maybe even the radio business, when things are off there, I'm sure it's not always clean cut. So we just decided to...
I'm the most clean-cut person you'll ever meet. There are some ingredients here that might be challenging to locate. Are they all available in Chinatown?
They are all available.
Now New York is about 3 or 4 major Chinatowns.
Yes. Flushing is Brooklyn. And
what about the Korean places? Do you do much Korean food?
We do, but it's just tiny influences. Flavors.
Like transglutaminase.
That is certainly not Korean. That is something that was introduced to me by Wiley Dufresne, and it's a naturally occurring enzyme, but we call it meat glue. Mm-hmm. I wish there was a better name for it. Activa, actually, but that you can actually mail order. There's nothing we have that you can't go to an Asian supermarket or get online.
And can you substitute things?
Certainly. We substitute things all the time.
You also include a recipe for a dish that you took off the menu for roasted sweet summer corn because it was so popular?
It came back on this summer, but we added a few things on it. It was miso. It was corn with miso butter and sautéed with little onions. And as a side dish, that's all we served, every order. And it's certainly flattering, and it was great, but it was sort of demoralizing to the crew.
It gets boring after a while.
Yes.
And that is a problem because you take something off the menu and then people say, but that was my favorite thing. How could you do that?
Well, we have the perfect answer. It's like, it's not corn season anymore.